All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 TV show in the history of the United States of America. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Resort by Bentley Little. It's a horror novel. Now, I like Bentley Little a lot. I got all of his books over here, and I'll show them to you. Pan over here through the library, and we will go down to the Bentley Little. That's my Bentley Little collection right there. It's kind of in the dark. But anyway, you can see them all there. Anyway, I don't know how many I got. Probably like 25 or 30. I ain't counted them. But anyway, this is the third Bentley Little book review that I've reviewed on the channel so far, and we'll eventually get a review of all of them. But this one I liked better than the other two. This one was really cool. I don't know why. I was just in the mood to read a horror novel like this, but I did. I think it's because it was a little bit of a horror novel. Like, I think the last book that I reviewed on the channel was The Throat by Peter Straub, and then I read this one, and now I'm in the middle of Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. So that's three horror novels I've read in a row here. So anyway, The Resort. What did I think of it? It came out in 2004. We look at the cover. You know, I love graphic design and cover illustration, so we always review those. This one is adequate. It gets the job done, I guess. It's sort of a weird Photoshop of like some sort of stone ruin and like a resort hotel, and then the desert, the hole in the ground. It's all right. It's aight. It ain't like it ain't, you know, thrilling me by any means. But anyway, it gets the job done. What's the store about? It's about Lowell. He is a store clerk, a grocery store clerk. He's like in his middle ages, and he's been a grocery store clerk his entire life. And he's a little bit ashamed of that. Like, he didn't pursue any of his dreams. He just worked at the grocery. He gets embarrassed when people he knew from high school come in, and because they live in LA, they live in Los Angeles, and everybody has a fancier job than him and everything. Now, Lowell has 3 kids and a wife, and he wants to take them on vacation. He's splurging a little bit for this vacation out to this resort in the middle of the Arizona desert, and it's called the Rieta Resort. R-E-A-T-A Resort. Rieta, I don't know. Rieta, I don't know what it's called. Takes his wife, Rachel. Now, Rachel, his wife, she got a degree in graphic design and illustration. That's what I got my degree in. Now, she had grander visions for her life than being a stay-at-home mom to a dude who worked as a grocery store clerk. She's working through her own issues, though. She seems like a decent lady. She's got her 3 sons and her husband, and she goes on this vacation that her husband is providing for them. And they've got twins, Curtis and Owen, and then they've got Ryan, the little brother, and then they end up in the Arizona desert at this resort. And as soon as they pull up to it and sort of explore it, Curtis, one of the kids, he likens this to, he says, this place looks like a secret hideout for the villains in a James Bond movie. That's what he thinks it looks like. So it's kind of like a cool resort out in the middle of the desert. Ain't nothing around this place but for the resort. So I don't know how they're staffing this thing or where the staff even lives, because this thing is out in the middle of nowhere. And it seems to have a ton and ton of staff. All sorts of staff doing all sorts of stuff. And they've got a lot of customers, too. They got a lot of people staying out here. Not sure why. There ain't a hell of a lot going on in the desert out there, but it draws people, and it's full. In fact, it's so full that they book 2 rooms side by side. So the mom and dad can stay in a room and the kids can stay in a room, but it's got an adjoining door. And so the first day they're there, they're liking it. They think this is cool. This is a badass. They're dope. This is a dope place. They're exploring all of it, the pool, all of the cool things that are in this resort. And then they get back to their room and they realize that there's a dude living in one of the rooms that they rented. Like, he just lives there. He's just like camped out. He's like got all of his luggage, and And they're like, dude, what's going on? It's like, they're like, didn't you see that someone else was in this room? Like, all of our stuff is here. And he's like, hey, man, this is the room they gave me the key to this room. They said it's my room. It's my room. You guys can off. And we can talk to management and straighten all this out. Well, what happens is management's embarrassed. They're like, I'm sorry that we double booked the room. Why don't you we've got a bigger suite that we can give you, and we won't even make you pay extra for the bigger suite. So we'll let this dude stay in your rooms, and we will give you guys the better deal. And they're like, cool, let's take it. So they take it. So they gather all their stuff out of those 2 rooms. They leave it to the dude, and then they get into their own room, and then they realize as they're going through their stuff that everything is there except for the mother's panties. Her underwear are missing. So then they're like, that dude took my underwear. Well, that's creepy. So now they I can relate to this. Not that I've stolen anyone's underwear, but when I was a kid, someone broke into our house, and all they took was my dad's .44 Magnum pistol collection and my sister's underwear. She was a teenage girl at that. It was a period. We were creeped out. I know what's happening. Now later on, they found the crook. He returned all my dad's guns. My sister did not want her underwear back. Got new ones. I know this is a weird story, but it gets even better. So my dad is going a little bit deaf, and this is about 5-6 years after this. Me and my dad are sitting at the DMV amongst a bunch of people. This kid walks into the DMV, and my dad, who's a little deaf, he thinks he's whispering, but he's talking at a very loud. His whisper, what he thinks is a whisper, is a shout, and everybody at the DMV can hear. This kid walks into the DMV. My dad leans over to me and whispers, or thinks he's whispering, hey, see the kid that just walked in with the curly hair? That's the kid that stole all your sister's panties. And everybody at the DMV was like, and the kid was like, and he turned around and walked out. Has nothing to do with this book, but I laughed when I read the scene of the creepy guy taking all of the underwear. And now he left everything else. But anyway, things get creepier than that in this book. I mean, as they start exploring and they're spending a week at this resort, and every day it just seems like something creepier and creepier is happening to this family. Different things. It's like they're living in the hotel from The Shining, right? Just weird shit. Like there's like they go one the guy Lowell, the father, he goes to use the exercise room. There's a big fat man lifting weights, completely naked in the middle of the place, and nobody seems to care. And he's just like, just fat, jiggling, just weird stuff. But it's creepy. And then the boys get to goofing around in the pool, and they're looking at the girls their age in their bikinis, and then they start to see what they think are dead bodies at the bottom of the pool. But every time they swim down, it's not a dead body, it's just the design and the tile at the bottom of the pool. But every time they're up, they're like, I swear they're dead bodies, but every time I look at them, they're not. Anyway, and then there's like other things, like they find aborted dog fetuses are in their toilet one day. Just weird. This resort, it's a horror novel. You know what's coming. The place gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and before they know it, they're trapped in there, and like there's weird sacrifices going on, and secret dungeons and rooms and different things, and it just goes ass over teapot day by day until, I'm not going to tell you how it ends. It's kind of got like a bit of a sad ending, but anyway, but a triumphantly sad ending, and that's all I'm going to say. I really liked this book. I was into it from the first word to the last. I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's just super cool. Not quite as gruesome as a lot of horror novels you're going to see, but it does have its shock moments and its blood moments and its gross out moments. So it's just overall a really solid little horror novel.